I've been paying attention to Dragon Ball Daima ever since it came out. Like everyone else, I sat on the edge of my seat, waiting for the next Friday to come. From the start, when I saw each character turn into a child due to a wish on the Dragon Balls, I thought, is this real? Is Toriyama, God rest his soul, really going to make this decision? It seemed so risky to me considering how GT has been viewed since its debut, but he did it and he's somehow managed to make everyone happy with this new take on a fan favorite. I could go on and on about it, and I probably will, but first, let me just say, welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, only 25% of our viewers are subscribed, so if you're a fan of the video, please like and double check if you are subscribed. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Super Saiyan 4. From the very beginning of Daima, it was speculated that it could see canonization here. I said to myself that if they do canonize it, it would be here. But one of the issues me and many others thought about was, how is Super Saiyan 4 going to work? It was never seen in Dragon Ball Super, so how would they explain that absence? Well, honestly, it was quite easy. You see, Super Saiyan 4 requires a tail, and guess what Goku doesn't have in Dragon Ball Super? That's right, a tail. And while I'm super excited about Super Saiyan 4, we do need to understand that this isn't your father's Super Saiyan 4. This is a new version for the next generation, Toriyama's own specific take on the classic form. So let's go over it. Awakening. Not just the name of the episode, but it's an explanation of what's happening to Goku. Goku awakened and saw a new form appear. Much like other forms in the series, it seemed to come out of nowhere, but the awakening of the form made sense and was a proper nod to the original Super Saiyan 4 form. While the way Goku achieved it was very different, the basic idea of the form remains. It's a potential unlock. When Neva helped Goku to awaken the form, he did so by sending a ball of energy into Goku. What was this ball of energy though? Well, considering the way that Namekians work, the abilities that Guru possessed, and what Piccolo and Granola used the Dragon Balls for, it becomes very clear. Namekians, particularly members of the Dragon Clan, possess the ability to call out someone's latent potential. In some cases, this doesn't really do much more than awaken one's latent ki, as it did with Gohan and Krillin on Namek. And in those cases, it didn't appear to be permanent either. But in the cases of the Dragon Balls, those not only seemed to awaken latent energy, but also grant a new transformation. When Granola had his potential unleashed by Toranbo, this resulted in Granola gaining a very long hairstyle, not too unlike Goku's Super Saiyan 3. When Piccolo used the Dragon Balls to have his potential awakened, described by Piccolo as doing the same thing Grand Elder Guru did, it granted him not only his yellowish, smooth ultimate form, but also the bulkier orange Piccolo form. Potential awakenings can sometimes come in the form of a new transformation, and that's what this new Super Saiyan 4 does as well, it seems. Neva awakened Goku's latent potential, even if for only a moment, to achieve his own version of the ultimate form. And this is not different from Super Saiyan 4 in GT. You see, in GT, Goku's Super Saiyan 4 form was awakened in the realm of the Kai, and in the realm of the Kai, they helped him achieve it by pulling out Goku's tail. And when they pulled out Goku's tail, Old Kai specified that it would call up Goku's dormant power, which is one way of saying his latent potential. The power within you that sleeps, either because you don't have the ability to call it up or because your body isn't strong enough to. In a way, Super Saiyan forms have always done that, breaking through the limits set in their way to a new level of power. The difference is that unlike most Super Saiyan forms, which break into a new limit with a standard multiplier, potential unleashed forms don't appear to have a multiplier, and their power is based solely on everything you can be at any certain moment, which is why Gohan's potential unleashed form went from being around a Super Saiyan 3 boost, and I say that playing it down a smidge, as Gohan in Ultimate seemed more confident against Super Buu than Goku in Super Saiyan 3 seemed fearful of that power, but regardless, it went from that level of power all the way to Super Saiyan Blue level with Kaioken added on top. Gohan's potential unleashed, and so too did the power of his ultimate form. That's how potential unleashed forms work, and that is what Super Saiyan 4 from GT was always designed to be. If it weren't, I would question why Old Kai didn't just give Goku potential unleashed instead, as he had hoped to do in Dragon Ball Super before the Tournament of Power. But alas, while many things have changed for Super Saiyan 4, and while some things are slightly different, a lot remains the same: the color and design. This is actually very important, as it seems to be more than just a design choice. While the hand's enlarged size is likely meant only for design, as Toriyama probably wanted the form to seem just a bit more like an ape, and likely that he wanted to add his own personal touches to the form, along with what Katsuyoshi Nakatsuru, the original designer of Super Saiyan 4 for GT, used, some other changes seem to signify a lot. Besides the hands, the hair color, eye color, and fur color seemed just slightly different, and there is a reason for that. Now, while Super Saiyan 4 has always had fur that had a magenta look to it, in most cases, save Gogeta 4, the hair color remained whatever the base hair color of the user was. As for the eyes, they were either amber for Goku or blue for Vegeta and Gogeta. But in Daima, the hair and eye color matches the color of the fur, which is magenta. And the question is, why? Well, I think I have the answer to that. You see, just as stated in the earlier point, this form appears to be a potential awakening form, which means that it awakens everything that you can be at any given moment. And considering how strong Goku is and what the next story chronologically is to come, it's likely that Super Saiyan 4 in Daima possesses divine energy, and is itself incorporating Super Saiyan God. This is supported by the appearance of flames in various points in Goku's aura, as well as in his strongest Kamehameha attack which he used against Goma. A bit of red flaming aura appeared, signifying the presence of Super Saiyan God within the form and its power. But how is this possible? How do I know it's divine energy? Well, it's simple. You see, while it isn't always shown, divine energy is sometimes included within one's own potential. Saiyans naturally possess the ability to use divine energy, being the only known race to awaken it through a ritual. Among other races we see that seem to possess such natural affinity for this energy type would be Namekians. Piccolo's energy also has a somewhat flaming color to it, and while it also was never explicitly stated to be divine in nature, it should be known that Dende, as a part of his own training, said that he was working to attain divine energy of his own, meaning Namekians know how to achieve this energy by themselves. Secondly, in the manga's version of Superheroes events, when Piccolo took on his orange form, Goten and Trunks seemed to lose track of his energy signature, which is a trait present in divine energy. According to the Dragon Ball Super manga, divine energy in its rawest form is something anyone can attain, and is called Aura of a God. This aura is shown as a red, flaming aura, and the manga further insinuates that Super Saiyan God possesses this aura of a god when Toppo, during the Xeno Expo, faces off against Goku, who is using Super Saiyan God against him. In the manga, Toppo never had a destroyer mode, but instead utilized this technique, Aura of a God, as his main transformation. It was Toppo who specifically mentioned that the Super Saiyan God transformation was connected closely to his own transformation because of the presence of Aura of a God within Super Saiyan God, likely making up what the form actually is. Besides this, we also know that potential awakenings can sometimes offer divine abilities, even if the user has no training in that form. In Dragon Ball Super, during the Granola arc, despite Granola never having trained with any character with divine energy, he suddenly displayed usage of the Hawkeye technique, something that Vegeta was surprised by. Vegeta had trained for a long time with Beerus to learn to utilize Ultra Ego and Hawkeye, but Granola, through having his potential awakened by Taranbo, was suddenly able to utilize the technique immediately, meaning Granola had access to Divine Ki. So, Goku being able to utilize the power of Super Saiyan God in his Super Saiyan 4 transformation makes a lot of sense. In GT, Super Saiyan God was not a thing, and wouldn't have been included into Goku's latent potential, but in Dragon Ball Super, it is a thing and should be included. Furthermore, this form does seem somewhat reminiscent of the version of Super Saiyan 4 that Gogeta used in GT, which makes me think that it's equally possible that we could see the canonization of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta in upcoming episodes. As of the writing of this video, Gogeta 4 hasn't appeared, and this is mere speculation, but Gogeta 4 coming to Daima has now suddenly become a possibility, as Goku and Vegeta have yet to use the fusion bugs that Goku brought all the way back to the third demon world. And as is the rule of Chekhov's gun, if a gun is shown in the first scene hanging on the wall, by the final scene it must go off. So the likelihood of us seeing a fusion, whether it be new, old, or a new take on one we've already seen, a fusion is coming. And with Super Saiyan 4 being canonized now, this is the perfect time to see Gogeta 4 take the stage to face the new threat that is the empowered King Goma, or whatever threat we'll see due to Glorio's wish. The Demon Realm Dragon. While this doesn't exactly have to do with Super Saiyan 4, it does have significance to Dragon Ball GT, and so I felt it would be right to mention it, since GT was where Super Saiyan 4 originated, and GT was considered the spirit that Daima was trying to evoke through its creation. The Demon Realm dragon made its first appearance in the same episode, and it wasn't exactly a new dragon per se. Like on Namek, this dragon's name was Porunga, and this fits what they were hoping to do with Daima in regards to GT's legacy. Because despite being Porunga, this dragon is far stronger than Namek's Porunga, and the scale color of this dragon is red. Anyone who watched GT will realize that this seems to be a callback directly to Ultimate Shenron, who was the dragon responsible for turning Goku into a child. Ultimate Shenron was the dragon of the Black Star Dragon Balls that saw the launch of the infamous arc of the same name. This appears to be a nod to GT as well, and promises that whatever comes next in Daima will be big. Conclusion: Dragon Ball Daima has been a wonderful ride so far. GT fans and Super fans alike can enjoy this, and the very meaning of Super Saiyan 4, its design, and its usage in Daima appears as a fusion between the primal legacy of GT as well as the divine future of Dragon Ball Super. A meshing of two very passionate fan bases who have debated for eternity as to who and what is stronger, better, or outright cooler. It seems that Dragon Ball Daima is Toriyama's last story to his fans, with the final episode of Daima scheduled to release the day before the 1-year anniversary of his passing. It seems that the last thing he wanted to do before his passing was to bring both fan bases together, and show that the best parts of GT and the best parts of Super could exist side by side, just like their fans. And while the passing of Toriyama is a tragedy, this last story he left us feels like the perfect way for him to say goodbye. The future is now in the hands of Toyotaro, who is now currently working on the next chapter of Dragon Ball Super as we speak. The next chapter, a one-shot, or perhaps a new arc entirely, is set to feature Goten and Trunks as superheroes. It'll arrive the 20th of February this year. The future of Dragon Ball is in good hands with Toyotaro, an author who started as a fan and ended up the main creative behind the story. According to Akio Ioku, former editor for Shueisha who worked with Toriyama and the founder and current president of Capsule Corporation Tokyo, Dragon Ball's future, despite the passing of Toriyama, seems bright, and has promised that Dragon Ball will continue for 50 years to come and beyond. While the sun sets on Toriyama's time as the author, a new day is dawning for Dragon Ball as a whole, and it seems very bright to think that it's already been a year. Thank you, Toriyama-sensei, for sharing with us your stories and entertaining us. Rest in peace.